wheel spin there. What's up, everybody? My name is Chad. You're watching Downshift Pass, and this is the all-new 2024 Toyota Prius Limited. And that's right, folks. Toyota has loaned me this Toyota Prius for 7 days, so I've been living with it. So of course I'm going to go over the entire car with you. Exterior, even though that tire, take a look at that, looks like a little spare tire. Interior, now this right here always seems to take a little bit more time than I anticipated. Go for a drive, and Prius is holding. Do an audio test, which with this being the Limited, it does have the JBL audio system and a few additional goodies, so make sure you stick around for that. But if that sounds like something that you're interested in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so you can be notified when I post more cool content like this. Now, of course, we're going to get to styling in just a minute, but let's start with the next most significantly upgraded part of this car. Now, it is going to be this engine here. Believe it or not, a Prius has some decent power, 196 combined. Now it is courtesy of a larger 2-liter Atkinson cycle 4-cylinder engine with double overhead cams. Now it is augmented by 2 electric motors at the front, and a separate third motor will add all-wheel drive if you want to go for the all-wheel drive version. My particular tester is a front-wheel drive version, and power begins at 150 horsepower, 139 pound-feet of torque. Now again, it is assisted by that electric motor, which creates 111 horsepower and 152 pound-feet of torque. So that's how you get that combined 194. For front-wheel drive, for all-wheel drive, you're looking at about 196. Now, there is only one transmission available on this car. It is an eCVT transmission, and gas mileage right now sits at 52 in the city, 52 on the highway, as well as 52 combined. If you go for the all-wheel drive version, it will be a little bit less. I believe 49 city, 50 highway. So not too much less, but just a little bit less. Regular gas, of course, is recommended for this car. And for me, I've been getting some pretty decent gas mileage. I'll talk about that a little bit more in the drive, as well as the range that I have been getting on this car. Toyota says this car will do 0 to 60 in about 7.2 seconds. I haven't timed it. It feels about that, if not quicker sometimes, which is pretty strange to me. But when Toyota said hybrid reborn, I don't know if you could see that there, they were not kidding. This is I'm impressed. Let's talk about the styling. Now, starting with the front end styling here, guys, of course, take a look at those daytime running lights, which also doubles as a turn signal, nice and large, which I love. A little down below that, that's actually going to be your headlight there. This is a little running light here when you have the parking lights on, and it does have fog lights way down below there as well. Of course, all LED looks really good. You do have a very small grille to let air in, and then you'll notice a camera right there, which when we get on the inside, I'll explain the 360 camera that this car has, which I really absolutely love. And then of course you have your parking sensors, small inlet grille at the bottom. But overall, they did a really great job with this front end. Now, as we move along to the side, this is where the car just gets a little stunning to me. It looks really good. Now, Toyota says that this is the most steeply raked windshield that they have ever put on a car. My favorite part about that is it doesn't feel like it on the inside, so it doesn't feel too tight, it doesn't feel too small. Moving down below, these wheels here come on the Limited and the, I believe, XLE trim, one trim below it, but this is the Limited with the full package of everything. But this is a 19-inch wheel in diameter. What's funny to me is the width of the tire is 195. Very, very small, but it handles pretty decently, even though that tire, take a look at that, looks like a little spare tire. They are wrapped in Michelins from the factory. And as we move along down to the side, you do have your black mirror caps. It does not have turn signals on the side, which I thought was missing. I like the nice quarter window, which helps with the visibility. And moving along to the back, as you can see, it's also steeply raked, and that's just to help it go through the wind really nicely and get better gas mileage. Now up top, you do have a sunroof up here, or really just a glass panel. It is a dual panel. I'll show you guys on the inside, but it does not open, it doesn't vent, it really doesn't do anything. It's just to let some sunlight in. And as we move to the back, this is where the car to me gets really, really nice and sophisticated. It's my favorite angle of the car. So of course you have Prius spelled out nicely across the vehicle. HEV stands for hybrid electric vehicle. LTD stands for limited. Toyota badge as well. This bar strip does not come on all Priuses. If you want this bar, this light strip, you do have to go for the limited grade to get that. It looks really awesome at nighttime. LED, of course, LED turn signal, and then your reverse lights are down below. Those are LED as well. And Toyota did get rid of the tiered glass, so now it's just pure hatchback back here, which looks really awesome. And they have a lot of little Easter eggs here. Right here it says Prius. I showed you hybrid reborn in the front. There are a ton. And since we're back here, let's go ahead and open this power hatch, which makes quite a bit of noise, but awesome that they actually offer it. You do have a cover here that comes out as well, and back here is where a lot of Prius owners are not going to like. It's actually a little bit less space than in the previous Prius. They decided this time to really focus on the styling of the vehicle while still making it flexible, versatile, and all those things, but you do have a little bit less space. But depending on what you're carrying, I really don't think you're going to notice it too much. Now below here you do have some additional storage space, which are styrofoams, which is kind of weird, but you can put things in those as well. There is no spare tire on this car, so keep that in mind. And then you do have small little cubby area so you can keep things like this from sliding around, which I really appreciate. And again, power hatch, so you can control it on the key as well as the button here, and it closes right on up. But overall, tell me what you think in the comments of the styling of the new Toyota Prius. Honestly, this is a home run. I really feel like they knocked it out of the park in that department. So good job, Toyota. Now let's take a look at the interior here. Thought I had the key on me, but I actually have it in the car. All right, and starting with the key, Toyota's key here. Of course, you got your lock, unlock. You can control, like I said, the hatch with the key, as well as a panic button. I do have the car on, so it's not going to do it now, but with your key in your pocket, you can just put your hand behind the handle. And actually, I want to show you something else Toyota did that's new. I know you're familiar with that Toyota beep that they usually have when you lock and unlock the doors, but they actually switched the game up with the Prius. Take a listen. Hear that? Not sure why it's beeping, but I'm going to unlock it. And I just love that noise. It's a little bit more, like I said, sophisticated. They really went all out for this Prius. But I'll show you the key now with it in my pocket. Put my hand behind the handle to unlock. And then you have these grooves here if you want to lock it. Easy enough. So we're going to go ahead and hop inside of the new Toyota Prius. And folks, this is the interior here. Now, of course, you do have your start stop function with a button. And I'm going to go ahead, foot on the brake, push the start button, and show you the startup sequence. Now, this right here always seems to take a little bit more time than I anticipated should take for an infotainment system, but eventually it does want to pop up. Now, initial impressions of this Prius, honestly, I was really impressed just with the features as well as the materials. You do have soft touch materials here, and as you move down below to the door, these are very soft touch materials. Nice switch gear as well, that feels really good. Two-person memory seats here. You do have a heated steering wheel, which comes in the limited model. And then take a look at your steering wheel here. Now, I am 5'8". Honestly, it's hard to show. This is probably my sight line here. It's hard to show on camera. A lot of people complain that the steering wheel blocks this screen here, which is a 9-inch screen. I don't have any issues with it. I have the seat in its lowest setting. I do have the steering wheel down below, but it's also a smaller steering wheel in diameter. So it's very comfortable where it is. I don't have any issues at all with it. You do have all of your radio functions on the left hand side. On the right hand side is going to be all your cruise control functions. Let's hear this horn. You will not be telling anyone to get out your way with that, but it's there. And then with this button here, you can control all your functions on this 9-inch screen. I think it's probably being washed out by the sun there, but you can control different functions with the vehicle as far as your gas mileage. Let's see here, is it showing? can't really tell. Your gas mileage, your trip computer, adaptive cruise control, everything shows right there. Now, moving along to this infotainment screen, this is a 12-inch screen, which is the largest screen that you'll get in the limited model. It does have wireless Android Auto as well as wireless Apple CarPlay, of course, Bluetooth on it as well. And honestly, this screen is pretty amazing. I love the smooth transitions that it has. It's very quick. Anytime you push a button, it's pretty quick to connect to the wireless CarPlay. Well, I have Android, but the wireless Android Auto when you get in the vehicle, really nicely integrated system that they have here. Now, when we put it into reverse, this is going to be your all-around view camera system here. So this shows overhead, and this is actually the reverse camera, and it does show where your wheels are going and all of that. Now, one neat feature that this car does have is auto park. If you take a look at that button there, and I'll go ahead and show that in a short video so you can see how it works. I've used it a few times. It works really well, and if it can't find a spot, you can pretty much tell it that you want to park in a specific spot and it'll do it. Now, if you push view here, if you see that button, that'll just change the view. If I happen to drive, that'll change the view of the camera. So that's the front camera there, and then this is more of like an overhead section from the front as well as the overhead section there. And then if you press it again, it just cuts off. Now, of course, you do have your vents here as well. Physical climate controls, which I'm so appreciative of. With the limited model, you do have heated as well as cooled seats. It is a single zone climate control, which I'm really surprised it's not dual zone. I was told that if there is weight in a seat, you can make it dual, but I haven't experienced that, so I can't say for sure if that is the case. You probably see this little LED strip here. That is the only LED lighting in the car. And then as we move down below, you do have your USB-C chargers, and then this is obviously something to put your phone and stuff in. But then you have this area under, and it says #hidden compartment, which is pretty cool. 2 cup holders as well. This is your gear shift lever here. Pretty simple to operate. P is for P. If you want to move it over, you just follow what it says. Over, up for reverse. And I don't know if you can hear the noise the car makes in reverse. Really neat. If you want to put it in neutral, you just over and hold, and then over to the left and down for a drive. And then B is for braking. It uses engine braking to help recharge the battery there. But again, P for park. Different drive modes as well. You have eco, normal, sport, as well as custom. The only thing it really does is control the throttle control, basically. So it makes it a little harder to press in eco mode, and in sport it gets really peppy. You don't have much changes to the gauge, cluster, infotainment when you change the system other than what you see popping up there. I honestly just keep it in eco mode for the most part. You have your EV mode button, brake hold function, traction control, electronic parking brake here. Now this right here is actually going to be a wireless charger, and let me grab my phone here. And I really love this wireless charger. I have this Samsung here. It is the foldable phone, so it is pretty thick, and it fits in there nice and neat. You put it in there, you can turn it on with this power button here. It'll start electronically or wirelessly charging it. Or if you just need a place to hold your phone, if you have things in this cubby area here, it's actually a really awesome place just to hold your phone, because if you're using CarPlay or Android Auto, you just use the screen. So wireless charger there. It does say wireless charger down in there as well, which again is really neat. And then of course you have soft touch materials here on the armrest, and if you open it up, it is pretty shallow, but you do have space in there, as well as 2 more USB-C chargers. A total of 6 USB-C chargers in this vehicle as well. One more thing that you get on the Limited is going to be this electronic reverse mirror here, or rearview mirror here. So as you can see, that's off. And if I put it here, it's actually on. And there's a camera in the back of the vehicle that actually shows what's behind you. It took me a minute to get used to, but once I did, I absolutely loved it, and I just keep it on at all times. Oh, and just to show you this sunroof here, or glass panel that you have up here, you can close it with this shade here in the front and the back. Kind of reminds me of the old Scion TC. It is a little flimsy, and you can kind of see right in there. But that's just me nitpicking. I'm glad they actually have the glass up here just to make the cabin a little bit more bright. But let's go ahead and step in the rear of the Prius here. Now as you step into the back, you'll notice these handles here. There's no handles on the door, which helps with gas mileage as well. It's all back here, which is more an electronic push button, kind of courtesy of Toyota. Now take a look at this space back here. Believe it or not, even though they made this car a little bit tighter as far as headroom and everything else, there is more leg room back here. I believe about 35 inches of leg room. I am 5'8". As you can see, I have pretty decent knee room back here as well. Headroom is not bad. It does have headrests back here as well, which are really comfortable. For some reason, they're just nice and soft. I don't know if you could tell how squishy it is. Now, your head does have this little scoop here. After that scoop, that is it. Your head is touching that. So if you're really tall, this might not be the place to be for you. Again, this sunroof here can be closed if you're sitting back here and it's too much. It would be nice if they brought this back just a little bit more, but I guess they had to try to scoop out as much headroom as they possibly could. Now on the driver's side, you do not have any map pockets, but you do have one on the passenger side. And is it appropriate to call it map pockets? I might be showing my age there, but nice seats here in the black leather on my particular tester. Of course, you have your armrest, 2 more cup holders. One really neat feature on the limited model is you do have 2 heated seats. It is one level, so just on and off. And then right down below that, you do have more USB-C chargers as well. Now, I did not speak about the JBL audio system. Taking a look up front, you do have those tweeters in the door that say JBL. Then in the back, you have additional speakers. I believe it's 9 on the JBL audio system, and it's going to be 8 on the standard Prius here. But that's it for the interior of this very nice Prius. But we're going to go ahead, folks, and take this thing on the road. All right, folks, I'm setting out here in the 2024 Toyota Prius Limited model. Of course, we're gonna have to start with a launch because this is a hybrid. Why not? Now, there's no launch control, nothing crazy on this car. I'm just gonna brake torque it. Here we go. Little wheel spin there. How does the old saying go? It's always more fun to drive a slow car fast than a fast car slow. This lives up to it. Now, again, they do say 0 to 60 in about 7.2. You will get some wheel spin from this car, especially if the wheels are turned and you're pulling out somewhere crazy. Keep in mind, those tires are only 195 width, so not much contact patch to play with there. But to be honest, it really doesn't translate to a bad drive, or the way I thought it would be. It's actually quite impressive with how it handles, as well as handles its power. I'm gonna try it again. To the floor. This is downhill a little bit, obviously. It just always makes me laugh. And folks, this is all in eco mode, I must admit. I'm gonna go back to our favorite little street there, put it in sport mode, and see if you guys notice any difference at all. Now, this is a hybrid vehicle. Listen to my voice, excuse me. This is a hybrid vehicle. So of course it's going to go between electric only mode, as well as that gas power kicking in to assist when you need that power. Right now it's in electric mode, and it makes these very cool noises. I don't know if it's picking up on the microphone, but I hope it is. You can kind of hear it. I'm going to try to keep it in electric mode. It's really all about feathering that throttle there. And with that more powerful motor that they actually put into this car, you can actually drive up to, I believe it's 29 miles an hour, full electric only, before the gas engine decides to kick in, which is the highest that it's ever been in a Prius. So for stop and go traffic, we're at 29, let's see, 30. Yeah, it went off. So right at 29 miles an hour is what you can drive it up to in electric only mode. Now drive mode is going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and put it in sport. Just going to brake torque it one more time. And here we go. Wheel spin, traction light. Oh, I feel it in the seat a little bit more. Oh, I don't know why this car just makes me laugh. Wow. I'll tell you one thing, they really did their thing with this power. I feel like what Toyota did with the Prius is the things that not many Prius owners, I'm sure, did not ask for, which is more power, a lot faster, you know, gas mileage that's not going to be that much better than the previous model, as well as just a smaller interior. But it's appreciated for the masses and just for everyday drivers. Now I'm going to put it right back into eco mode and drive it how a normal Prius driver will drive it. And right now it's back in electric only mode. Now I know when we were talking about the exterior styling of the car, I talked about this really deeply raked windshield, and it's probably not translating well here on camera, but again, it does not eat into so much room that you feel like it's too close to you or that you're claustrophobic. This dash is so expansive from the bottom of the windshield all the way to the steering wheel here. As you can see, you got a lot of just real estate there, as well as this 9-inch screen, which kind of breaks it up. They give you some fun little bits here, and then it brings it into this nicely shaped heated steering wheel, which feels really, really good here. Now we're going to go ahead and take it on the highway. I'm going to cut off this heated steering wheel because boy does it work. Heated seats as well. Now again, this is the limited model, so you do have cooled seats for driver as well as passenger. All right, getting onto the highway. When you're driving this car every day on the street, you don't really notice the engine drone too terrible, but when you really need to get up and go, if I can find an opening, I'll let you hear. I'll let this car go ahead a little bit, and then I'm just going to floor it so you can hear. Whoop. Here we go. Now again, this is an eCVT, so no traditional gears, so of course no traditional gear changes. The car is just going to scream. Scream, scream, scream. Now this is a 4-cylinder engine. It's meant for extreme gas mileage, so you're not really, of course you're not buying this car for the noises that it's going to make or looking for how they tune the 4-cylinder engine to sound a certain way. No, they did go ahead and do the styling to make you think that this car can do a lot more than it can, but this is still an econo box. But I will give it to Toyota. The one thing that they really did on this new Prius is made it feel a lot more luxe. If this had the Lexus CT badge on it, hands down, I would believe it to be a Lexus product. It has really nice materials. The seats are really, really comfortable. You guys know I'm a heated seat fan. Heated seats in this car are superb. Cool seats usually in lower end cars are sometimes a hit or miss. Toyota did a really good job with the cool seats on this car. All the materials that you touch are just really nice, soft touch materials and more premium feeling than you would anticipate from a Prius. Now, if we're just cruising down the highway, the one thing you'll notice is how quiet the cabin is, especially in relation to the previous Prius model. Say that 3 times fast. Now, I do hear a little bit of wind noise. I'm not sure where it's coming from. Sounds like up above a little bit, but a little bit of wind noise. But especially like right now, it's in its EV mode, so there's no engine drone. All you hear is just, you know, the wind going past you at what, 70 miles an hour now, but it's also not terrible. They did a really good job of blocking out the sounds. The car doesn't feel nor sound as teeny feeling or as cheap feeling as the previous Prius models did. Now, I did say that this car handles pretty decently. I'm going to go around this ramp here so you can see. Now again, 195 with tires. And Prius is holding. I'll tell you what, this car will do what you need it to do. Now, getting back onto the highway in the Toyota Prius, of course, I mentioned to you guys that this does have the upgraded JBL audio system, which is the 9-speaker audio system versus, I believe, 8 speakers on the standard Prius. So, of course, we're going to do the audio test on this car, and along with the audio test, I always show the self-driving functions. This does have Toyota Safety Sense in it, and its self-driving function is more of a ping-pong situation, but in each Toyota that I've tested, it seems to get better and better with how it handles curves and everything else. So, of course, I'm going to have it self-driving. I'm going to play the music, listen to it for a minute, and then we'll discuss it right after. Folks, and that was the audio test of the upgraded JBL audio system in this 2024 Toyota Prius. Now, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I think it sounds pretty solid. That one additional speaker, not sure what it's doing over the standard system, but this one is really, really good, surprisingly. I took it on a very long road trip, 3.5 hours driving, had the radio close to full blast the entire time, all different types of music. It handled it pretty well. The only thing I will say is the bass started to get a little muddled the longer that I listened to the radio, so I don't know if it was overheating or just getting tired or what, but it handled it pretty graciously. Now, as far as the self-driving functions, again, this is more of a lane centering situation that Toyota has, so it does kind of ping pong, but it does a good job of centering itself in the lane as long as a car is in front of it. It's almost following the track of the car that's in front of you. The only ding that I will give it is it requires you to put your hand on the wheel probably every 15 seconds. It seems pretty often, but this is not a hands-free system. We have to keep that in mind. As much as we want it to be on all these cars, they are not hands-free. Your hand should always be on the wheel. So just one thing of note if you do decide to use this system, if you can buy this car. Notice I said if you can buy this car, which leads me to my final thoughts on the Toyota Prius. Folks, this is truly an incredible automobile that they have built here. I think Toyota finally got the formula right for the Prius to make it more desirable for the masses. And now that it is desirable for everyone, I mean, people want it just based on its styling. I see so many Toyota fanboys that are like, I'm just going to get a Prius, I'm going to lower it, I'm going to dump it, I'm going to do all these things to it. You know, it has decent power now, so I don't really need that much power. It's a great daily driver, but you're going to have a hard time finding one. Toyota cannot keep these things on the lot, and when they are on the lot, they sell like this above MSRP. But I'll tell you what, I really thought about, would I take this over a Honda Accord, or just some of the other hybrids that are out there, which honestly, they don't compare, in my opinion, to the Prius. The Prius kind of stands alone in that. Honda Accord, mostly because the power is very similar. The Accord is going to be a little larger, of course, but styling is just not it for me. And this would be the one that I would choose. I think Toyota, like I said, hit it out the park with the styling. The driving dynamics are there. The power, believe it or not, is there. Great comfortable seats, nice features, great gas mileage. I did not talk about gas mileage, which is oddly enough. I've been averaging about 40 miles per gallon in my mixed use driving, and I'm not the most light-footed when it comes to the throttle. When I was really trying to hyper mile it, I was able to get 52 miles per gallon, but it really required me really trying to do that. But when I drive it normal, I would say between 38 and 42 is what I've been averaging. Most I've went on a tank was 420 miles. People are saying they can get up to 600 miles on it. I don't see how that's possible, but maybe they can. But if you made it this far in the video, I absolutely appreciate it. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me, as well as the notification bell. It'll make sure I continue to get more cool cars like this one. And folks, I appreciate you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye-bye.